Okay, so it looks like the feds were right about how Diddy could be a threat to witnesses if he's released on bail, because the streets are now saying that he allegedly blackmailed the first judge in the case, and that's allegedly why the judge stepped down and recused himself from the case. There has been so much talk for almost a year now about how Diddy could take down many people in Hollywood, but only recently did the speculation grow that some politicians and other high-powered people could be caught up in the mix. When the first judge stepped down, fans started to wonder if something else was at play. It looks like the Diddy conspiracy goes deeper than we thought. Now, before we get into it, I need y'all to keep in mind that I'm just telling y'all what the streets are saying. There's a whole lot of conspiracy theories flying about social media right now, including this one about Diddy getting to the judge one way or another. So let's break it down and figure out if there's more going on here than we know. Well, fans are convinced that Diddy allegedly needed to take out the judge because of how insanely strict the judge was, especially regarding the topic of bail. The feds made a compelling argument about why Diddy should be denied bail, saying they're worried he will intimidate witnesses and obstruct the case if he's released on bond. Prosecutors also say Diddy's got the money and the means to be a flight risk, and the feds say he had what appeared to be narcotics in his hotel room when he was arrested. But to be fair, Diddy tried hard to prove that he wasn't a flight risk and that he wasn't going to go after the witnesses. And according to reports, Diddy's lawyer proposed bail on these conditions: a $50 million bond co-signed by Sean Combs, his mother, his sister, and mother of his oldest daughter and his 3 adult sons. He also proposed that the bond would be secured by equity in Mr. Combs' residence, located at 2 West Star Island in Miami, Florida. The appraised value of the home is about $48 million. The home is unencumbered in anticipation of this bail hearing on August 20th, 2024. Mr. Combs paid off the remaining mortgage of about $18 million so that the home could be used to secure a bond and free of a mortgage. The document went on to say that the bond would be secured by the equity of Mr. Combs' mother's home located on 450 Alton Road in Miami, Florida, and that Mr. Combs' travel will be restricted to the Southern District of Florida and the Southern District of New York to attend court, meet with his counsel, and attend medical appointments, which we will address to the court in a separate sealed submission, as well as the Eastern District of New York or the District of New Jersey, only to the extent that his travel to and from New York involves an airport in those districts. He also offered up his daughter's and his mom's passports just so the courts could get him bail, but the judge still refused, and that was the moment that things started to heat up even harder. After this, fans started to speculate that Diddy was going to start snitching hard on all his celebrity besties at the parties. There were rumors that the major reason the feds pushed for him to be remanded instead of granted bail was that they wanted to put enough pressure on him that he would start snitching hard on everybody else in exchange for a plea deal. And we know that the feds already seized some damaging evidence from Diddy's houses during the raid earlier in the year, and they seized even more when they arrested him in September. But even with all the physical evidence, it would be nice for them to get a physical confession from Diddy to tie it up in a nice bow so they can go after everyone else who was caught up with Diddy for those illegal freak-offs. And to put it in perspective how bad the situation is, Suge Knight spoke out from prison, and he hinted that the federal case was worse than the feds were leading on because they had a lot of evidence against him that they weren't releasing to the public yet. He made it clear that he wasn't making fun of Diddy, saying, "The first thing that came to my mind was he had a son. He had his daughters. My first reaction was about the kids. I feel it's a bad day for hip-hop. It's a bad day for the culture because it makes us all look bad. I'm not the type of guy to cheer for people's downfall." He said, adding that he's not going to pop champagne bottles if someone gets killed. "If I have a problem with Puffy, that's for him, and I just sit down in a room and resolve it."
My first reaction, it's not the reaction I thought I would have when it came to Puffy. You know what I mean? I thought it'd be a reaction like he got what he got coming because everybody know what's been going on. My reaction was actually different because I felt like, damn, first thing came to my mind was, you know, he had his sons, he had his daughters. My reaction was first about the kids. And the thing is, I feel it's a bad day for hip-hop, bad day for the culture, because it makes us all look bad.
However, that didn't stop him from spilling the tea, and according to reports, Suge Knight, co-founder of former CEO of Death Row Records, tells Cuomo that Sean Diddy Combs is not the only one to put younger artists through humiliating sexual acts, describing various industry practices throughout the decades. He went on to reveal that Diddy was in even more trouble than we even thought was possible, saying Diddy stepped in this ish. Even if he wiped off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes. Well, Suge dropped some bombs claiming that Diddy learned his predatory ways from those who came before him, only to turn around and pass the same twisted behavior onto the younger generation. He spilled some tea about the industry's alleged long-standing habit of SAing its newest recruits, but what really shook the table was when he described a horrific ritual he called the egg test. And trust me, whatever you're imagining, it's worse. He said, "Those guys pull their pants down and bent over. They stick the egg up their behind. The eggs break. They say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood," without attending.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
To bear witness what seems to be a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put in words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side and to prove his innocence. She continued, "I'm not here to portray my son as perfect, because he is not. He has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and the lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that story is outside the norm or is too complicated to be believed. This is why I believe my son's civil legal team opted to settle the ex-girlfriend's lawsuit instead of contesting it until the end, resulting in a ricochet effect as the federal government used this decision against my son by interpreting it as an admission of guilt. Well, a new judge has been assigned to the case, and Diddy's lawyers wasted no time in claiming that the feds were prejudiced against him, claiming that Homeland Security was behind the leak of that video of him putting hands on Cassie in a hotel room, adding that they did so to make the public turn against him and deny him his right to a fair trial. But if Diddy and his lawyers thought the new judge would take their side, that didn't happen because the new judge also denied Diddy bail for a third time. Even though his lawyers are planning to file another motion, it doesn't look like it's going to work. The trial has been scheduled to start on May 5th, 2025, and it looks like Diddy might be behind bars until that happens, which kind of defeats the entire process of him taking out the judge in the first place. However, the streets are also saying that this could be a ploy to throw us off, so we don't realize what is really going on. Fans have been commenting. They already switched judges for the Diddy case, and they're trying to do a cover-up. The judge is working with the CIA and blackmail sex rings that are government-controlled. This is a lot of what happened with Jeffrey. So there's a new judge in the Diddy case with no explanation, which means that he's getting off. Money can buy you absolutely anything in this country. And the fact Diddy got a new judge, F that, man. Y'all, this is a hot mess, but do y'all really believe that Diddy blackmailed the old judge into stepping down? And do you think that the new judge is secretly working with him? So 50 Cent just dropped his 2 cents on Diddy's recent lawsuit, and he had everybody shocked with the things he had to say. In case you missed it, a Texas-based lawyer just announced he is defending 120 different victims who were all allegedly hurt and essayed by Diddy at different times in life. But if that's not wild enough, the lawyer claimed that more than 3,000 people had come forward to him to claim how Diddy allegedly essayed and mistreated them for years. And it gets crazier because 50 Cent also claimed that he knows about more than 50 new victims who are cooperating with him on his up-and-coming documentary on Diddy. And it looks like he's about to make things even worse for Diddy because he came with all the receipts to back up his wild claims. At this point, I think we can all agree that Diddy is on some Avenger-level villain energy. And if he starts to drop the names of other people allegedly helping Diddy harm these victims, things are about to get ridiculously chaotic in Hollywood. You can bet some major players are involved, and it wouldn't surprise me if we start seeing lawyers trying to block those names from being released or pushed to keep the records sealed. You know, some influential people do not want to be dragged into this lawsuit. The attorney gave us more details about some of the victims, and honestly, it was terrifying. One of the victims was a woman who said she was pregnant at the time. She claimed that she attended a Diddy event and didn't have any alcohol because of the pregnancy, so she should have been completely sober, right? Well, according to her, one of her regular drinks was spiked and it made her black out. When she came to, she found herself in the same bed as Diddy, and she claims he had allegedly her so badly that she was left in pain down there.
Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, was attended a group dinner allegedly with Sean Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently, at least according to her, was laced with something. She blacked out and she woke up in the same bed, again allegedly, with Mr. Combs in his mansion in Miami. Her were torn and sore. And I could go on. I mean, literally, you're sensing a theme here.
Doing this to anybody is awful, but doing it to a pregnant woman whose body is already working overtime to bring new life into the world? That's just beyond cruel. And as shocking as it is, the idea of him allegedly spiking drinks doesn't really surprise anybody at this point. It seems to be a part of his pattern. Well, Cassie's lawsuit also revealed that Diddy allegedly pressured victims into taking substances before these freak-offs, even when they were clearly unwilling. Lil Rod's lawsuit also claimed that Diddy spiked the drinks of women at his parties and allegedly did terrible things to them afterward. On top of all of that, other women who've accused Diddy of SA have shared similar experiences, with some cases dating all the way back to the early 90s. Now, after Cassie's lawsuit, a woman named Joey Dickerson Neal accused Diddy of SA in the early 90s, saying that Diddy drugged her, SA'd her, and recorded it without her knowledge when she was a college student in 1991. Joy stated that the event took place when she was attending Syracuse University and Diddy had been putting moves on her. She wasn't interested at first, mainly because she had heard rumors about how poorly he treated women. However, she eventually decided to go on one date with him, during which he allegedly spiked her drink. According to reports, the complaint alleges Combs intentionally drank Dickerson Hill, leaving her unable to stand or walk. The suit said she left her drink unattended with him at the restaurant, and afterward, under alleged pressure from Combs, she took a hit from a blunt. They then drove to a music studio, the suit stated. When Dickerson Hill couldn't exit the car, Combs allegedly took her to a place he was staying to SA her, according to the filing. But that was not all that he did to her allegedly, because she also claimed in a lawsuit that Diddy had made a video of him SAing her, and he shared it around. Reports have it that days later, a male friend named Devontae Swing, a member of the popular 90s R&B group Jodeci, revealed to Joey that he viewed an adult tape along with other people. According to the suit, Joey said Swing feared his band would lose its record deal if he spoke against Combs. She got a lot of support from fans when she filed her lawsuit, so she released a statement saying, "I'm so thankful for the bravery of the other women that came forward, the Adult Survivors Act, which opened up the filing window to seek justice, and the unwavering support from my attorneys. For 32 years, the only people I have been able to confide in were my close friends and therapists. I'm feeling as if the darkness has been lifted, and I can freely move forward in achieving my full potential." Well, this is interesting because Joey's case has some clear similarities to Cassie's. Cassie talked about how Diddy basically forced her into the relationship, controlling her against her will. She also claimed that he would trick her into taking drugs and then either SA her or pimp her out to other men while he watched and recorded it. Admitting guilt probably isn't going to have the impact that they hope it will. And guess what? Joey's lawsuit wasn't the only one. Another bombshell dropped when a woman, referred to as Jane Doe, accused both Diddy and singer Aaron Hall of allegedly essaying her and her friend. Jane Doe spilled the tea, saying they all met at an event hosted by MCA Records. According to her, Aaron and Diddy were super charming during the night, offering drinks and being charming. After that, they invited the ladies for an after party at Aaron's place. According to reports, while at Hall's apartment, Jane Doe was offered more drinks and was coerced into being intimate with Combs. After Combs finished doing his business, Jane Doe laid in the bed, shocked and traumatized. While Jane Doe was trying to get dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Jane Doe to be intimate with him. But it was worse than that, y'all, because according to reports, Diddy and Aaron then took turns to SA her and her friend at the same time. It gets even worse though, because days later, Combs went to the home where Jane Doe and her friend were staying, became irate, and allegedly assaulted and choked Jane Doe until she passed out. Combs was allegedly looking for the friend because he feared she would tell the girl he was with at the time. Again, y'all, this backs up what Cassie said about her time with Diddy, and how he would often put hands on her after SAing her repeatedly. Well, it looks like Cassie has this woman's back, because her lawyer has commented on this and said, In my experience handling SA cases, it is not uncommon for other victims to come forward once the first brave survivor makes public allegations concerning a high-profile perpetrator. Now again, Diddy is denying this lawsuit and the allegations that come with it, and his lawyers did the whole thing about how the women are only trying to shake Diddy down and all that. His lawyer said, because of Mr. Combs' fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. The New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. So it looks like the pregnant victim was onto something when she claimed that her drink had been spiked by Diddy at the party, because like I said, that seems to be his signature move. But y'all, it gets worse. According to page 6, one of the 120 victims who came forward claims that they were only 9 years old when Diddy allegedly assaulted them. This is beyond sick. According to page 6, the lawyer Tony Busby said this individual, who was 9 years old at the time, was taken to an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of the kids were seeking TV or music careers with promises of, "I'll make you a star," according to Busby. This individual was SA'd, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio, with the promise to both his parents and himself of getting a record deal. He also spoke about another 15-year-old victim who was SA'd by Diddy and his friends in the studio, saying another instance, an individual 15 years old at the time was flown to New York City to attend a party where she was drugged and then taken to a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs. Busby continued, this female individual was SA'd and then other individuals took turns her. Page 6 reported that Busby said that dozens of allegations are involved. Violent SA, facilitated intercourse with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and SA of murders. This is just sick on so many levels, but again, it's not the first time that Diddy has been accused of allegedly SAing a minor, because according to a lawsuit filed against him by Jane Doe last year, he allegedly SA'd her in his music studio, along with some of his friends. She claimed that she had been picked up by Harvey Pierre in a bar on Diddy's behalf. Interestingly though, Harvey also has SA allegations against him while he was working for Diddy at Bad Boy Records. According to reports, the lawsuit filed in New York Supreme Court accuses Harvey Pierre, a former president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of engaging in a year-long pattern of grooming the unnamed assistant, leading to SH of plaintiff and SA from approximately 2016 to 2017. Pierre SA plaintiff on multiple occasions in New York City and other locations throughout the country. However, a representative of the company released a statement saying, the allegations are from many years ago that were never brought to the attention of the company. Neither the plaintiff nor the executive are current employees of the company. We are now investigating the allegations, and our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees. So I guess it wasn't completely shocking that Harvey Pierre was named in the lawsuit. But anyways, back to the lawsuit itself. The documents went on to say that Mr. Pierre, a third assailant, and another gentleman then escorted the high schooler to a private jet, which flew them to Teterboro, New Jersey. There were SUVs awaiting the group at Teterboro, and the four of them were driven to Daddy's House recording studio, a studio famously owned and operated by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy. While at the studio, Mr. Combs and his associates, including Mr. Pierre, plied Miss Doe with substances. As the night wore on, the 17-year-old Miss Doe became more and more inebriated, eventually to the point that she could not possibly have consented to having intimacy with anyone, much less someone twice her age. It continued, while at the studio, Miss Doe was SA'd by Mr. Combs, the third assailant, and Mr. Pierre in that order. While Mr. Combs was SAing Miss Doe, he complained that he could not get off unless she pinched his nipples as hard as she could. Mr. Combs then watched on as a third assailant, who Miss Doe had not even realized had begun, SA'd Miss Doe, as she told him to stop. After third assailant was finished, Mr. Pierre took his turn and then forced her to give him action, during which Miss Doe was choking and struggling to breathe. The lawsuit also said when Mr. Pierre finished, he left Miss Doe in the bathroom alone. Miss Doe fell into the fetal position and lay on the floor. Her privates were in pain. Finally, after a period of time, Miss Doe regained her bearings. However, she could barely stand up and had to be helped to walk out of the building and back into a car. She was taken back to an airport and flown back to Michigan. However, she has very limited recollection of her transport home and only remembers being in her car sometime early in the morning. You guys, this case has shaken everybody to its core. And even to this very moment, fans are still shaking that he could have done something that cruel to anyone, much less a minor. The whole thing just spiking drinks and forcing his victims to use hard and illegal substances just goes on to prove Cassie was right, because she was the first to expose Diddy's cruel ways in her lawsuit. She wrote, "Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the court with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, HB, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Miss Ventura was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO." The feds said the same thing in their indictment documents, where they wrote, "Freak-offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in acts with commercial adult workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use." Now, to think that Diddy could have forced a 9-year-old into freak-offs is just crazy to think about, especially because it seemed like the parents were well aware of it. But according to 50 Cent, we haven't seen the last of any of it, because he's claiming that he has more than 50 new victims who he's working with on his documentary. According to him, the victims have all agreed to cooperate with the feds for their investigation and might be testifying against Diddy during the trial. It's unclear whether or not these victims will sue Diddy, but one thing that is clear is that we're nowhere close to the end of this nightmare. And the fans have been commenting, 120 more victims? Yeah, that ninja Diddy was a menace. Give him the chair and release the documentary already. Every single Diddy supporter needs to go the F to jail. This attorney just said Diddy's youngest victim was years old. Get all them B's and get everybody that was ever at a Diddy party too. This is effing sick. Anyone still defending Diddy at this point? There is a special place in hell for you and him, because I'm sorry, that man is a monster. I don't give an F what he did. That ninja don't ever deserve to see the light of day again. And 25 victims of Diddy were children. Oh my gosh, the youngest was 9. That's it. Bury the bastard under the jail. I'm sickened. When you violate the trust of a child, it just hits different than hurting an adult. It's all wrong, but a 9-year-old? I'm not surprised R. Kelly did the same stuff. This is crazy, you guys, and we're shook. But I gotta know what you feel about this and Diddy being exposed. So Nicki Minaj is ready to take it all the way there with Jay-Z in their ongoing beef, because she just leaked some audio evidence to prove that not only was Jay-Z allegedly at Diddy's freak-offs, but the freak-offs were originally Jay-Z's idea. Nicki has had her issues with Jay-Z for a long time, but it recently blew up to the point where she went off on him on Twitter, claiming that he allegedly tried to poison her to keep her mouth shut about what she knows about him and his freak-offs with Diddy. Nicki's claims seem to be the final nail in the coffin for Jay-Z, because the streets have been trying to tie him to Diddy for a long time, and Nicki just handed over the evidence on a silver platter. Now, Nicki Minaj's beef with Jay-Z has been simmering on the down low for like more than 10 years, but it wasn't until January of this year that she finally got bold enough to call him out and his label Roc Nation, accusing them of trying to sabotage her and sponsoring a hate campaign against her. But as it turns out, Jay-Z was not the only one Nicki was beefing with, because she has also had issues with his wife, the Beyonce. Now, Beyonce's beef was kind of weird, because she used to be pretty solid with Nicki back in the day. Y'all remember Feeling Myself, I'm Feeling Myself, and Flawless? They teamed up on a couple of tracks, and everything seemed to be cool between them, but after a while, fans started picking up on some subtle shade they were throwing at each other in their lyrics. No one exactly knows when things shifted, but word on the streets is that it's tied to Nicki's messy social media behavior. But let's be real, Nicki can get very messy online. She's out here beefing with fans, dragging other celebrities, the rap girlies, calling out the Grammys, and don't even get me started on all the drama surrounding her husband, Kenneth Petty, and his legal issues. But to be fair, when she does go off on social media, it's either in self-defense, to set the record straight, or to stand up for herself or her loved ones. However, a lot of folks think that Nicki's antics are messing up her own legacy, because her personal drama often overshadows her music. Lately, at least. It's like she's been a magnet for chaos, and everyone knows how much Beyonce tries to avoid the drama. She loves to keep her head down, hit the studio, make good music, do her concerts, and focus on her family. So there was speculation that she distanced herself from Nicki because of the drama. But even with all the stuff going on behind the scenes with Nicki, she managed to keep it cute until Meg Thee Stallion shaded her in the song Hiss earlier this year, and she lost it, going off on Jay-Z and Roc Nation. She tweeted, "B thinks she a bully cause she get a Roc Nation brunch every year. Be mad at party. He told all your tea, but you taking shots at my family? Get up on your good foot. Go apologize to your mother, you nasty serpent." She also posted a screenshot of an ad by Roc Nation on Twitter where they were promoting the song Hiss, and she said, "Spending so much money, but she's the little broke independent artist. That's alright. You gotta let it go, baby. The world knows she's ASS and can't rap. Stop trying to make fetch happen. I just put out a song with no promo, no video. It's already number 2. She then claimed that Jay-Z was using his label Roc Nation to get to her. She slammed Roc Nation CEO Desi Perez, saying, "On the next song, I delve into all the people Desiree allegedly fired for unknown reasons. Other things as well. So many people were blindsided and hurt by her. Allegedly, she's willing to go broke to try to replace me? Fix it, Jesus." And the blogger summed up the issues quite nicely, saying that beef really overhauled in Beyonce and how she don't mess with old girl anymore like that. B Ben fell back. No matter what's posted on social media after this, in real life, they don't want their name attached to old boy with the criminal record. Nicki also accused Roc Nation of allegedly sponsoring a hate campaign against her.
And the paid for TikToks and the paid for tweets, to the point where people got their little $250 for their tweet to say something bad about Nicki Minaj, and then the next day it was like, "Bitch, yeah, anyway, I'm going right. I'm listening to Bigfoot." So I don't know why anybody of that, and I'm not talking about any rapper. I'm talking about a company or companies.
So once that door was open, there was no more closing it, and things have been tense between Nicki and Jay-Z since then. But as it turns out, the beef wasn't just because of Nicki's social media activity, because Jay-Z and Roc Nation protected Meek Mill, who Nicki accused of DV when they were together. Nicki's relationship with the Carters started to turn sour around 2017, and interestingly, that was around the same time that her relationship with Meek Mill started to go downhill, and she made some serious DV accusations against him. Now at the time, Meek was signed to the Roc Nation, and there has been some talk that Roc Nation allegedly stepped in to keep Nicki quiet to protect Meek. Word on the streets is, when Nicki wanted to talk about it in the documentary, Roc Nation supposedly stepped in and shut it all the way down.
I remember when my mother would let my father be violent with her, and she always brings up the story. As a little girl, I would stand in front of my mother and go like this, and I vowed, like, that's why I'm like, maybe some people would describe me as abrasive or bitchy or whatever, because I vowed from that age no man would ever abuse me, call me out my name, treat me like that. And then all of a sudden, that was my life.
The documentary never saw the light of day, which is weird because it had already been completely filmed. Roc Nation has faced similar accusations of silencing fans before. Tory Lanez also claimed that someone from the label instructed him to stay silent about the drama between him and Meg Thee Stallion.
I get a call from Roc Nation that says, "Yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement."
Now, when Nicki posted a snippet from the documentary talking about the toxic relationship she was in, she didn't name any names, but Meek Mill caught his sub and sent Nicki a cease and desist letter. This made her big mad, and she went off on him on Twitter saying, You a clown. You do it for likes. Twitter fingers, women scared of men. You your own sister and taped it. Spit on her and taped it. Kicked me in front of your mother and sent her to the hospital. Sucking Drake's D made you feel tough again. You can never stand on your own. You was around. You know. See you soon. However, the streets are now saying that the reason that Jay-Z shut down the documentary wasn't only to protect Meek Mill, but to also protect Diddy and himself. Now, after Diddy got arrested and the indictment documents leaked, there have been reports from multiple sources that Jay-Z was allegedly involved in the freak-offs too. This would explain why he immediately jumped in to save the day, only he wasn't only looking out for Meek Mill. Once her beef with the Carters was out in the open, Nicki got bolder, calling Jay-Z out for mistreating him and making things hard for her out of spite. For example, while she was hosting the VMAs last year, she revealed that someone had been bad-mouthing her to the VMAs to try to get them to fire her.
Now listen, real quick. MTV is petrified because they got a couple calls yesterday and people were saying, what if Nicki says this and if Nicki says that? And you know, and I said, it's okay, MTV, I can control myself.
And what would you know? She was replaced by Meg Thee Stallion for this year's VMAs. Interesting, isn't it? After her rant against Megan and Jay-Z in January, Nicki managed to avoid Jay-Z and she ignored him until Kendrick was announced as the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show next year. Everybody, including Nicki Minaj, expected Lil Wayne to headline because the Super Bowl is happening now, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's Lil Wayne's hometown. But for those of you who don't know, Jay-Z was the majority vote over who gets to perform at the Super Bowl halftime. So when Lil Wayne was passed over, Nicki believed that Jay-Z was taking his beef with her out on Lil Wayne, and she went off again on Jay-Z, reminding him that she had dirt on him too, that she wouldn't hesitate to spill. She accused Jay-Z of selling his soul, saying, denying a young black man what he rightfully put in this game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, and Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne the GOAT? No, you what's good? Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out, a white man. It's sad, but it's good for them. No loyalty? Well, these ninjas will keep sunning you. She continued, one ninja took a knee, the other ninja took the bag. He gon' get you ninjas in line every time. Got everything in the world, still spiteful and evil, disgusting. Be happy, I beg. Go be happy, ninja. In rap business and women business, when you got the politicians and the police, you good though. Plus that ugly Laffy Taffy alien. She also said, and by the way, you don't know the half of what Lil Wayne has done for me and others. Wayne had Drake and I on his tour with no paper sign. He was on all of my mixtapes with no paper sign. This man has literally changed the face of hip-hop. The hair too, if you know, you know. He inspired so many to tat their faces and get locks. Inspired your faves to want to be a great MC. He never was in this for the money. It's always been for the love of music. Yeah, Nicki had that foot on Jay-Z's neck. And get this, after the rant, she came back to hint that Jay-Z had allegedly tried to poison her to keep her silent. She posted a picture of a takeout order with the note written on it saying, "We love you, Barb." And she wrote, "Thank God I don't eat the food in this place." Imagine seeing this written on a brown paper bag. Why would a person placing an order say who it's for? Odd. Or a fan commented, "Time to restructure and reevaluate your team, queen. No shade. It's very unprofessional for anyone to even mention you when ordering food, even if it was in fact for you. Like common effing sense. I don't know, child. This is strange. It's unnecessary." Nicki replied, "Oh, she was fired last leg, but was mysteriously hired again. Could you guess who she works for? I didn't know." She also hinted that Jay-Z had been up to the same shenanigans as Diddy, saying, "They're short and stout, Laffy Taffy alien. Breath says, we want to know if you were present during mistreatment of teenagers and children. That's what we want to know. Aaliyah, Foxy, etc. During R. Kelly video shoots and stuff. Did you know about the to Kim Porter and Cassie? Y'all seem to always run in a sort of rat pack. So that's what we, the people, want you and your peeps to speak on. Ugly, bald head, bowling ball B. You ninjas don't have this energy for gangsters in person, only for B's on the internet. Y'all, she then claimed that Jay-Z was on the DL, just like his buddy Diddy. She tweeted, "Undercover men are always with women because they have decided that they can't live in their truth. Therefore, women who have done nothing wrong to them are made to pay, but simply existing. Fix it, Jesus. Enough is enough." Yeah, Nicki is certainly sick and tired of somebody, and it looks like it's Jay-Z that she's tired of, to the point where she's claiming that Jay-Z was not only friends with Diddy, but also allegedly heavily involved in the bad things that he did. I mean, Jaguar Wright tried to tell us about this a while ago.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This pussy been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 fucking years.
According to Nicki, Jay-Z has allegedly been using label Roc Nation as a front to move women, young girls, if you know what I mean. But this is an interesting claim because it kind of backs up what Rihanna's former publicist said about the feds interrogating him about Jay-Z allegedly moving girls. The publicist said, "One day, unmarked law enforcement cars stopped me. These intimidating individuals introduced themselves as a federal task force and they requested to speak to me. So I followed them to talk and I was in a complete state of panic. As I sat in the desolate makeshift interrogation room, the gravity of the situation became clear to me." He continued, "They mentioned that they had been keeping a close watch on Jay-Z since he Lance Rivera, and he was also being implicated in a incident with R. Kelly during their joint tour, promoting Jay-Z and R. Kelly's joint album. The officers clarified that they were investigating Jay-Z for allegedly engaging in some intimate activity with underage Rihanna and transporting her across international borders. They said she wasn't the only one, and there were many others." He added, "No one benefits from reckless ambition." He says the interrogation was a brutal reality check. However, looking back now, there are some serious red flags as Jay-Z was once very close to R. Kelly, and they have 2 collaborative albums. They have like 30 songs together, and they have toured together. As we all know, Jay-Z has also been extremely close to Diddy for several decades, so it's not very hard to come to some of the conclusions that Trap Lord Ross and Jaguar Wright have come to with Jay-Z. Now again, Jaguar Wright tried to warn us about this when she claimed that Jay-Z allegedly paid Rihanna's dad $500,000 after he signed Rihanna.
We discovered Rihanna at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room on the island where she comes from, with no parental supervision. And then she was put on a private plane, a minor, from one country to another, without parental supervision. And she ended up in a boardroom with Mr. Carter, without parental supervision. Y'all got young children, would you just let your daughter leave and go to a whole other country with some motherfucking niggas you don't know?
Absolutely not.
Doing talent shows at 3 a.m.
So you're saying that the rumors are true. There are rumors circulating that Rihanna was actually trafficked here. Are you saying that
Starting to sound that way. Cause her daddy ain't show up till 24 hours later to pick up a $500,000 check for his daughter's ass. Maybe we should look more into that album, Auntie. That album cover was disturbing. A child bride with a crown over her head and blood smeared on her face. I don't know. How don't people see SOSs anymore?
But that's not all, because Nicki is also claiming that the reason Jay-Z was quick to protect Meek Mill against her DV accusations was that he was the one who allegedly passed Meek Mill to Diddy after he clapped Meek's cheeks first. All allegedly. But speaking of Mr. Meek Millie, he has been fighting for his life against these accusations and allegations of him being Diddy's boy toy. He has been fighting everybody on Twitter, saying stuff like, "I'm from Philly. I don't do nose candy or freaking Molly. Nobody won't ever offer me that because I'm that heavy. No man or what would ever approach me about gay activity, and the whole place don't get flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming." He also said, "That's why I always come around all these industry ninjas with my real friends. You never catch me around anybody from the industry alone. You can't even hold a convo without my dog stepping in the room. It's been that way." He continued defending himself, saying, "When I got a girl around me, I'm effing her twice a day." Ask some of your favorites. P don't control me, but it's like a high. One love to the gay people, but that juicy P do it for me. I don't ran red lights to get that feeling. Y'all weird on here like devils. He also accused people of trying to tear him down, saying, "My voice so powerful as a black man from the ghetto worldwide, they want it gone. I'm a real king, straight out the trenches, under control of no human. They learn how to damage can't stop us of brands, from bots and campaigns like politicians." He also said, "I will personally give you $1 million if these stories add up in anything weird beyond trench hood level. It's two things we can't do in the trenches. It's no way y'all know the type of man I am." Well, the next thing we knew, a whole audio leaked of Meek Mill allegedly getting his behind clapped by Diddy, and it was very graphic. Diddy's bodyguard at the time claimed to be the one who leaked the audio.
Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the fucking door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the fuck was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against ass cheeks. I heard niggas struggling to take dick. I heard niggas being like, "Yeah, daddy." When he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all that shit because I was like,
The word on the streets is that Nicki allegedly put the bodyguard to do it because she needed leverage over Meek and Roc Nation. That's not all, because there are fresh reports that Nicki allegedly has even more tea on Jay-Z, including a video of him allegedly directing the freak-offs. It's unclear how long Nicki is going to keep this leverage, but Jay-Z might want to watch his steps around her because she did not come to play, y'all. And the fans have been clocking all the tea, commenting, "Jay-Z effing ugly and evil. Clock him, Nicki." I don't know how Nicki and Jay-Z are going to resolve this, and the fact that she has a lot more info and isn't scared to put it out there makes me fear for her safety, because people are so evil. Like, I just hope she stays safe. And Jay-Z's spot about to be blown up soon. Once Foxy NDA is over in 2025, baby, she's singing. I feel like Roc Nation is almost done. That's why Nicki is so comfortable talking like this. But I got to know what y'all think about all this. I've been reading the comments and it's getting crazy. Do y'all really think that Nicki is airing out Jay-Z's dirty laundry like that? Drop your thoughts in comments below and then check out this next video.